A lot of cope going on when it comes to Snow White and Rachel Zegler. I didn't know it was as bad as it is with the media and them trying to spin this movie into a success. And they're doing it now while no one's talking about it. Because, let's face it, Minecraft has put this movie into the ground. It's like old Yeller. Minecraft came out, took Snow White behind the shed, and shot her. And that was all they wrote for Rachel Zegler's Snow White. Didn't even hit $100 million. Probably not going to make $100 million. By the way, that's $100 million domestically. Worldwide, right now, sitting at $169 million. Pretty pathetic, actually. That's still really bad. For a Disney movie, absolutely. And this movie's budget, yeah, this movie's done. That's still crazy. $42 million domestic opening. That's crazy. So it's at $77 million right now, getting pretty close to $78 million. I don't even know if, it'll probably hit $78 million something by this weekend. I believe now finally theaters can start dumping this piece of shit. Keep in mind, I've talked about this before. Disney hogs up theater screens. This is a part of the agreement for their movies. They have to keep them in so many screens for so many times, for so much time. And I think now they can finally start dumping this piece of shit. Imagine being in a theater and having like Minecraft, a movie that kids actually want to come see, and you can't put it into more screens because you have to give them to this piece of shit that nobody's watching. And that is a reality for many theaters. I'm not kidding. Look that up. Like, this is an agreement they have. Disney strong arms theaters with this shit. I talked about that when it came to Mufasa and Sonic when I was going over box office in a previous video. Like, Sonic probably could have done a lot better if Mufasa didn't take up so many screens. And then, of course, Mufasa ended up getting a little bit of a push towards the end there, but Sonic was already out on digital, which I think was a mistake. But anyway, let's talk about this. So, not even going to hit $100 million. That's really bad. But what's funny is the cope that's going on. And I want to show you some of this. And we have an update on Rachel Zegler in Hollywood. Turns out Hollywood still loves her and is going to do their best to help rehabilitate her career, which, of course, they were going to. They love big mouths like her. So this is from Screen Rant. This one was really funny, and I got a whole bunch of these. Rachel Zegler's Snow White remake lands on major top 40 highest grossing charts despite controversies and poor box office. Well, what chart is that, you ask? Well, it made the top 40 for musicals. Highest grossing musicals. Beat out last year's Mean Girls. Whoa! Wow! Wow! Amazing! Which it's not adjusting for inflation, by the way. It looks like. It's going to pass Fiddler on the Roof. Okay. Let's talk about adjusting for inflation also. Let's talk about budgets. I guarantee you the budgets for most of those musicals is a fraction of Snow White's budget. It doesn't matter, though. It made this much money. It's a great movie. It's on the top musical chart, even though musicals really not the most popular genre out there. You're not going to see big blockbusters hit a musical like a top of all time chart. It's just kind of a niche. Musical theater, though, that is quite popular. But anyway, here's another one. This one's funny. The Rachel Zegler, the built-in misogyny and racism of Hollywood controversies. Sure, that's what it was. Is once again sexism and racism. That's why this movie didn't do well, of course. That's it. All in a nutshell, case closed. Then there's this one from Pink Villa. Rachel Zegler's Snow White becomes her second highest grosser, despite backlash and box office struggles. So they say, yeah, actually, it's for her. It's way up there. All of her movies have been duds. Every movie she's been in, except one, has flopped. But sure, yeah, she is rising. Her star is rising. I'm not done yet. Here's this one. This is from Refinery 29. Last updated April 8th. So they came in and they've worked on this again. They wanted you to know. And you know why it was updated? Because this is an old article. But they updated it April 8th. You know why that's done? So that it pops up in news for recent news. If you search something and you want to see last week, today, past 24 hours, so on and so on, now this pops up. Don't blame Rachel Zegler for Snow White's failure. It's done intentionally to keep positive news for her. And it's funny, none of these are old. This one's from the 9th. This one's from 16 hours ago. This one's from 6 hours ago. And today is the 9th, by the way. Sorry. This one doesn't have the time, but it came out apparently 5:31 p.m. IST. This is 6 hours ago, and then this is the most recent budget. Really trying to get some good news for her out there. But is the fairy tale over? She was spotted recently. She looks shocked that anybody's taking a picture of her. As a paparazzi found her in New York. She looks depressed. Is it her with her dog? You don't look so good, Rachel. You don't look so good. She's sad. You think she's feeling some instant regret? I think she might be feeling a little regretful for acting like a pompous ass for the past couple of years and telling half of your customer base to kick rocks. Not the smartest idea. Not the smartest idea. Spending the past couple of years making yourself insufferable to people. Probably not that smart. I know, and she's even said she's a huge narcissist. Well, you might want to get some therapy for that. Because it turns out they're not lining up to see you. But guess what? She's going to be just fine. At least on the inner circles of Hollywood, because she still got invited to the Met Gala, which is hard to get into. But she did receive an invitation to the Met Gala. So whether or not she goes or not, I don't know. Something tells me she goes so that she can go mingle and get her ego blown up while everyone tells her it's going to be okay. And then they go into the bathroom and do some snow together because it's a bunch of Hollywood degenerates. So, yeah, she's not kicked out or anything. In fact, I guarantee you they're going to try to rebuild her image. I feel like she would have to change who she is for that to work. Because you put a microphone in front of this woman's face and she can't help but blurt out dumbass shit. She can't help it. She can't stop. She did it the day before Snow White launched when she did that interview with that woman that was wearing all that weird shit where she looked like a homeless person fashion. But she did an interview with that woman and ran her mouth about how this movie was going to save the world and end racism and all kinds of nonsense. The only thing Snow White did was end Disney's winning streak. Anyway, that's pretty much it. This movie's toast. I was just kind of surprised to see all this positive press for her. Well, I guess I shouldn't be, right? But it was kind of looking like they were all going to throw her under the bus to make Disney happy because you know Disney was looking for a scapegoat. And in some ways, they would be right to put some of the blame on her. But like I've said in previous videos, she was one piece to that failure. There was all kinds of shit that went into Snow White bombing like it did. But she definitely didn't help. You can put a lot of it on her shoulders. Not all of it, but definitely a significant chunk of it. Anyway, you'll be all right, Rachel. You'll be making money on Broadway. You have a good singing voice. Hopefully, maybe you get some therapy. Bring that ego and that narcissism down into a place where you can check it. And maybe you'll be able to get back in and have a winning picture in a couple of years. It's possible. You're still young enough. The question is, will you finally learn? Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear from you also. If you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.